You're gonna vomit at this video, but you won't vomit at getting up to $1,000 in free stock by going to metkevin.com/public. Sign up, deposit some money, no payment for order flow, and get up to $1,000 in totally free stock. metkevin.com/public. Folks, I thought you literally couldn't even make this up. California is going stupid again, which is at this point just redundant. It is a state that taxes its citizens the absolute most, is ranked 40th in schools, has massive homelessness issues, which the government just can't figure out how to handle. They don't invest in mental health. They certainly don't invest in mental health in our schools or teaching people financial education. They don't care about having enough water in the state because, wouldn't want to have to pull permits for a pipeline or some better solutions like desal plants that we could build. Nope, wouldn't want to spend money doing that. Don't want to spend money on new infrastructure either. Would rather shut down the largest nuclear plant that we have in the state that produces the most energy out of any facility in the state. They'd rather shut it down during an energy crisis. And guess what we're doing now, folks? That's right. California now is going to another level. California is sending stimmy checks to people making all the way up to $500,000. Yes. More stimmy checks to go buy Prada bags. Massive stimmy checks so that way, instead of investing in Californians, instead of investing in better schools or water or infrastructure, we're just gonna make it rain. And these stimmy checks are going to be called inflation relief checks. Yes, in order to fight inflation, we are going to give people more money to spend on stuff. You can't make this up. Listen to some of these income brackets, okay? 23 million Californians will be getting up to $1,050 in stimulus checks. Again, these are going to be called inflation relief checks. Up to $350 for singles, another $350 if you have any dependents, just one $350 if you have any dependents, whether you have 5 or 1, it's just $350 extra. And couples will get $350 each, so that way you could get 3 times $350 in that income bracket between 75 up to 75 for singles, 150 for couples. That's $1,050. But the brackets go all the way up to $500,000. Listen to this. Singles between $75,000 and $125,000 of income and couples between $150,000 and $250,000 of income will get $250 each person, plus if you have dependents. Again, 1 for all the dependents you have. And then the brackets, this is the highest bracket right here, $125,000 to $250,000 for single filers. So basically a bunch of people up in the Bay Area making good money. Actually, I mean, some of those folks make a whole lot more money than that. Some people are making $400,000 to $800,000 working in the Bay Area. But anyway, $125,000 to $250,000 in income for single folks will get $200 checks. And couples making up to $500,000 will get $200 checks. So if you're a couple making $500,000 and you have a child, you will get $600 from California. So rather than, again, invest in schools, infrastructure, crime, policing, homelessness, no, let's make it rain on people making up to $500,000 to help fight inflation. Folks, California is going to go bankrupt at some point in the future. Now, I know some folks say, but Kevin, we have a $97 billion surplus. Yeah, everybody had a surplus in 2020 and 2021 because the Federal Reserve made it rain on us. They covered a lot of our expenses and gave us a whole lot of money to go invest and do whatever we want with. And so a lot of people paid massive amounts of money in taxes. I paid over $10 million in taxes. Over $4 million in the last 2 years went directly to the state of California so they could just make it rain. It's so stupid. It's so moronic. But rather than the government actually investing in our schools or mental health or homelessness or energy or water or things that we need for the future, they're just going to make it rain stimmy checks. Yes, during the highest inflation in 40 years. At some point, I believe, California, and I hate to say it here in 2022, but at some point, California will revolt. I think there will be I don't want to say like weaponed revolution because California is pretty anti-weapons, although that new Supreme Court ruling in New York might change things. But anyway, I think there's going to be a revolution in California at some point in the future. People are going to be so tired of the nastiness, the crime, the homelessness, the fires, the water shortage, the terrible schools. They're gonna be so tired that this state will either be a poverty state or it will get turned around via revolution. I'm not calling for a revolution. I'm not saying go get your pitchforks and your rifles. Just saying this is mismanagement. Take the money from the good times, realize we're going into a recession. Don't fuel the frickin' inflationary fire and invest in the future of California, because I can almost guarantee it. I will mark my words right now. It's June 27th, 2022. Next year, in 2023, when we realize how much of a potential surplus we had from 2022, I bet it'll be a deficit. We'll be negative. And then when we're in a recession in 23 and 2024 potentially, guess what? We'll have 3 years of deficits, and we'll probably have to get bailed out by the government because we have a failed governor and a failed leader. Sad. Oh well, let's fuel the inflationary fire in the meantime. And if we're going to go down with the ship, let's just make it worse in the meantime. Folks, the real problem with this is if California sets an example and starts sending inflation stimmy checks and other states start doing this, we are just fueling the fire of the recession that we need to go through.